Bobby. Bobby.
What is up, people? It is the Monday Night Special, the review show with yours truly, Talitha Kume, and my baby big Bobby B, brought to you by Food for the Soul Media Group here on Vegas Hype Media on Fremont Street. Shout out to Quan keeping us live on FB, YouTube, and the Mixler app at Vegas Hype Media, and we are live on our FB page as well, so you guys make sure you tune in. So basically, we've got a lot of stuff to say about a lot of stuff. Some stuff you may want to get in on. Some stuff you may not give a damn about. Some stuff you may not know about. But we are talking about it on the Monday Night Special, The Review. So our disclaimer, as always, every week, is that these are our opinions. They are not fact, just our opinions. And if you want to weigh in, you can comment on our page at Food for the Soul Media Group on FB. Or if you're tuning in on Vegas Hype Media, leave us a comment on the YouTube station. So we have a special guest in the building, Arthur, realtor, land developer, speaker, and more, Mr. Thomas TJ Lofton. So TJ, tell us a little bit more about what you do, where you from, all that good stuff.
Okay, not a realtor.
Okay, not a realtor. I
Not
thought
a
you were in
realtor.
realty. What
I'm an
is that?
investor.
Oh, an
Investor.
investor.
Yeah,
Golly.
investor. I'm in real estate,
Okay.
but
Real estate investor.
land
Change
development.
that on my real quick.
Thank you,
Real
thank
estate.
you,
All right.
thank you.
There. Okay. Now
Uh,
finish.
Grew up in Compton, California.
Yeah.
Retired celebrity car builder. Did good building cars for the rap videos, movies, TV shows.
Mhm.
Dope.
Helped a lot of the homeboys start businesses over the last 20 plus years. So somewhere down the road, they convinced me that I was a great coach, since
Yeah.
a lot of the people who came along with me all are very successful. So now I'm doing coaching and consulting and, traveling around the country speaking. Just
Wow.
wrote a book about real estate because I didn't understand. I'm like, y'all don't know what's going on with the real estate? Y'all ain't investing? They looking at me like, why you buying up the hood?
Yeah.
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 I'm like, y'all tripping, man.
Okay.
Man.
So now I'm consulting and teaching people about real estate. So
That's
I'm the
good.
foremost expert on gentrification in the nation because I've been over 23 states
Mhm.
finding out what's going on with all this real estate, these
Mhm.
developers moving into the communities, pushing people out, taking people's houses.
Mm.
They put me on Al Jazeera's TV because I was the one who called out gentrification in LA.
Mm.
And that kind of opened the door for me to start traveling everywhere speaking, because it was
That's
like,
dope.
I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Savy, rest in peace.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
told me, he said, man, ain't nobody else did this before, so you need to
Mhm.
be teaching people what you did, how you
Mhm.
know this information, so other people can do the same thing. And, so I start traveling. He said, this ain't the only place this happened in Leimert Park, California.
Yeah.
So this is going on all over the country. So I had to go see. I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, I
Yeah.
didn't realize I was in my little bubble in LA and
Yeah.
Compton. Like, okay, well, we doing this.
Mhm.
They're like, nah. So I go to Philadelphia, New York, Atlanta, DC, Miami. I've been all over the country, and I'm
Really?
like, wow. Out here in LA, I'm out here trying to buy houses, rent them out. In Atlanta, they building brand new highways. It's like cats own whole malls and stuff. That's
Wow.
affordable.
Wow.
Shopping centers. I'm like, okay, I need to
Okay.
be out here.
Okay.
Right.
So anyway, that's what I do.
Wow.
Working on documentaries, more books and stuff.
That is a lot. Documentaries. I love documentaries.
Straight up.
So okay. So first when we start off the show though, TJ, we usually ask about our week. So I just wanted to give you, Bobby, a chance to talk about your week and what
Well, this
what
weekend
happened?
rather.
Yeah.
It was cool. This weekend was cool. Shout out to Marlon's Closet
Yeah.
and Bookstore.
Yeah.
They rock. She rocks.
Yeah.
Kenya's an amazing woman. And
Uh-huh.
I've got to connect her with more cool people
Yeah.
to do things at her store, in her bookstore.
Uh-huh.
It's awesome.
Yep.
The location is right off of 910 West Owens in North Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's
Off of H Street, I
Yes.
believe. Yeah.
Revere turns into H,
Mm-hmm.
right on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
So that was cool.
How was your week?
We had
How
a
was your
good
weekend, rather?
we had a good weekend there with your clothing now in her store.
Yeah, sweaters,
and
boxes, and
yeah,
hats.
Yes. And so you're doing a lot. So I was really proud of him this weekend.
Yeah.
Some of you, I don't tell a whole lot of people this, but I work for the Girl Scouts. That's my day job, you guys. And so working for the Girl Scouts, it is my job to be, I just got promoted to be a community engagement specialist.
Hmm.
And what that is basically is just going out into the community, trying to get more troop leaders and more girls and partner with different organizations to join the Girl Scouts. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we were out after we went to that launch, and I was going to they were giving out book bags at a park that was near where we live, and it was a new Black Panther party. So it was a new start of the kind of old, bringing it to the 2021.
Right.
So I'm out there, me and Bobby, and we go out there to try and pass out some pamphlets. We're letting them know, hey, we need girls, in our communities and leaders in our communities. And he pretty much handed me my hat and said, why we got to be begging the white man? And I mean, he just went in. He went in on me so hard. Bobby tried to take up for me, but it didn't happen. And so needless to say, I didn't leave any pamphlets with them. So that was
Yeah.
interesting. That was interesting for my weekend and my last week.
It's pretty
Yeah.
it's pretty adventurous, man.
Yeah, because he just pretty much was like, we need to do our own thing. And I get it. But I have more to say about that. We'll talk about that later, and then we'll see what TJ has to think about that. But anyway, so basically everything we're talking about today, we know that you're well versed in it. So we really wanted to get some knowledge and wisdom from you on some of these headlines. And so we have, I think, like just maybe 2 or 3, and then we're just gonna get into questions and ask you questions. So the first article I found, it said, across America, states are removing Black history from schools, but Virginia is doing the opposite. So in Virginia, they've gone in another direction. The state has started an initiative to incorporate more African American history into its public schools curriculum. Experts say it's an effort to move away from looking at Black history as a separate from the country's history and to see it for what it is, an integral part of the American experience. And so I absolutely, I read the whole article, and I just wanted to get your take on it. And I love this quote. Someone said, or the president of the Virginia Social Studies Consortium that oversees the history program for Richmond Public Schools, he said that our job is not to come in and try to push our kids into our views that we have or may have as adults. But he said our job is to present information to the kids. So that's our job, or that's what he's saying, that's our job as teachers, adults, parents, all of that. Our job is to give them information, not push our views on them, but let them decide by giving them the information. So I'm going to go to you, Bobby, first, then I'm going to go to TJ.
Well, what type of information?
Well, he's just saying, in this, he was talking about the African American history. So he was trying to say that if we're going to teach African American history, give them the information and let them kind of decide. Don't try and manipulate the situation by saying your view of what you feel about American history. So that's basically what he was saying. But I thought that was cool because you know, everything is everything. So
yeah. I'm trying to figure this one out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's good to pull it out, and I don't know if it was ever good to have in the first place.
Well, if schools across the country are removing Black history from schools, period.
Are they replacing it with Chinese history or Japanese history?
Right.
No, they're not saying any
white
of that.
History,
they're not saying any of that. They're just saying that they're removing it. So if they're removing it,
they're replacing it with what?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I don't understand. Like I don't.
Can we go there? Or
that's my next.
The job is not to push their agenda, but to share information.
Right.
And in turn, pushing your agenda because it's about the information that you're sharing.
Right. But this one is saying, so think about it, though. If no Black history was in, because I think in the article, I think one of the ladies was saying that she didn't know about her own history in her state.
I know people who don't know nothing about their city.
Right. They're her city and her state. And so she was saying that this would have been good to know, as a kid, seeing people that look like me.
Right.
Or hearing about people that look like me. And so all this article is saying is that as everybody is removing it, that they're saying, hey, we want to make it available for our students, but we don't want to we're not pushing it. We just want to make it available for them. And if we put it out there, let them decide to say, oh, they got a book about African American history. They're going to read it. They're going to talk about it. And they're not going to give their opinions really on what it is. That's what it was saying to. That's what I heard it saying. So TJ, what you think?
I don't know if I should really answer that question.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, I mean, it's
I
not
could be a little
loaded shit, but
controversial
yeah.
sometimes. 'Cause
Well, you can.
I don't got no sponsors. I can talk about how I want to talk, say what I want to say.
Do
know?
your
that.
thing.
Yeah, I'm sure y'all want me to answer.
Yeah, do
Absolutely.
your thing. Do your thing.
Well,
I
most
really wanna know.
schools have always had African, African History Month.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Whole 30
Yeah,
days, whole
yeah.
28 days. Matter
Yeah.
of fact.
28.
You know what I'm saying? Shortest month in history,
Mhm.
shortest month of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody know about Martin Luther King and who else is it? One more, but that's it.
We
You know what I'm saying?
we don't even know about
He
Malcolm
even know.
X. Yeah,
Right.
Martin Luther King.
Don't
That's
nobody
it.
know who Marcus Garvey is.
Right, right.
It's like so.
Fred Hampton.
It's scary.
Mhm.
I was just asked to go to this book fair,
Uh-huh.
not book fair. It's a homeschool book show, and I spoke there in Atlanta
Mhm.
like a week ago, and it was 99.75% European.
Mhm.
But these were the people who wrote the school books that supplied the school system.
Okay.
So now that African Americans want to start learning their history,
Mhm.
these same people writing the books about our history.
Okay.
They're not
Right.
saying, TJ, come in here and tell us about you, your friends, all
Yeah.
the people you know about. Marcus Garvey, tell us about
Right.
C.R. Patterson.
Uh-huh.
They're like, no, we got Malcolm X. I mean, we got Martin Luther King. Not Malcolm, but
Not
Martin.
even Malcolm.
We
barely
can't
know
touch
anything about
Malcolm.
Malcolm.
He was too,
Right.
we can't go there with Malcolm.
Yeah.
But we
Right.
can go there. We can talk all about Martin.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Mandela.
Mhm.
stuff for people
Yeah.
like that. But they
Yeah.
say they don't want to interfere. But school itself is an agenda.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They weaponized that education against us for years.
Okay.
As I traveled the country, like I said, I did over 23 states, and
Mhm.
man, it's like, wow. I went back in time when I go to the South. I'm like looking at people, they looking at me weird, like who
Yeah.
Mhm.
who are you? Like why are you?
Right.
Why don't you cross the street when white folks are coming? You know,
Wow.
Why do you look them in the eye? And why do you like run them off? Why are you?
Wow.
They out there like, yes sir, okay.
Still on it.
Still.
I'm like, wow, it's 2021, ain't it?
Still.
In the South. It
Still.
just blew my mind. I'm like, what is those? I'm in North Carolina,
Uh-huh.
and the whole city is wrapped around this big building.
Uh-huh.
It's a structure, and I said, I'm looking at it. Every street leads there,
Uh-huh.
and I said, what is that right there? What's so special about that place? They said, oh, that's where they used to sell the slaves at. I was like,
Makes sense.
like what? And that
Right.
building is still standing? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what?
Wow.
And it was so nonchalant. I was like, yeah, that's where they sold the slaves at.
Okay.
And yeah, they used to bring them under the street down there from the port and bring them over here, and that's
then.
why they call it Black Friday.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? On
then.
Fridays, the slave ships would come in, and I'm just sitting there looking at them crazy, like, now if this was in Compton, we would have burnt this down. 18 wheeler would
Right.
have plowed into it accidentally,
Yeah.
and
Right.
set ablaze or something. I don't know, but it just
Golly.
amazed me of how it just works and how things go. So I just, so anyway, getting back to the education thing, especially college. So, I did very good in the car world. I
Uh-huh.
helped pioneer a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I helped make a lot of millionaires. So I decided, let me go back to school and give back. And, I had a class at
Yeah.
Centennial High School, automotive class.
Okay.
So let me go back. So when I start going back to the schools, they looking at me like, you didn't go to college? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no.
Uh-huh.
Well, why should we let you come in here and speak to the kids? Because we want them to go to college. I said, because I made $1 million in my life, because I got
Right.
like
Successful.
100 people that I made millionaires.
Right.
They paint shop owners, they mechanic shop owners, they lowrider shop owners. We manufacture car parts. We ship cars internationally. I ship cars to Japan, Germany, Australia, New Zealand. I could talk about international business. I could talk about patents, trademarks, copyrights, intellectual property, but ain't none of y'all even know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Right.
But because my name is not attached to, oh, he graduated from Morehouse. That's why he's so brilliant and smart. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
But these same people want to continue to teach our children.
Yeah.
They teaching the same stuff, man. It's
Yeah.
the same book that
Yeah.
they're teaching across the board. So everybody who seems to or appears to be intelligent is getting it from the same book.
Right. So they so smart.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to talk about them, but in 2012, I started talking about it.
Right.
And I said I was the only one in Lamert Park that recognized real estate, what was fixing to happen, that knew
Yeah.
the effects of a SpaceX, Elon Musk. We got a multi-billionaire that just moved down the street. and y'all don't understand what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? All our college graduates, the best of the best, they
So
just
it's
sitting
going up.
there. Yeah, it's now homelessness is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
The city is down to less than 6%.
Wow.
Where we when school back then, what was 99% of us?
Mm-hmm.
Now we less than 6% in California. You know, so they're looking at me like we want 100% of our children to go to college, and I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
They're not bringing any jobs back to the communities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With this information that you've learned is not helping us.
Okay.
When I learned some stuff, I was able to come back to the community and say, okay, well, you're great at stealing cars, so I want you to not steal them and strip them, but I want you to, we're going to get them from the customers, then I want you to take them apart
Yeah.
and put all that new stuff on there like you've been doing. But it's all legal now.
Yeah.
They're like, they'll pay me
Yeah.
for that? I'm like, they'll pay you a lot. So
yeah.
I couldn't bring that into the school system. So we turned around and they were like, well, we ain't got no money for that. So I was the one, me and some friends, we came together and created an organization in Compton, and we bought Dr. Dre and we bought Master P, and I don't know if you know, they tore down Compton High School. They rebuilding it right now.
Okay.
Dr. Dre. He
Oh,
put
okay.
up the money for that. You know what I'm
Cool.
saying?
Uh-huh.
Gave Compton $10 million, Compton School District $10 million.
Wow. Shout out,
I
Dr.
got-
Dre.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got all my
That's cool.
my whole auto mechanic shop. I literally got to go shopping for the school.
Wow.
They say, we want electric cars. That car's $8,000. Let's buy it. It's in the box. We're going to put it together. Electric car.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? So just all this amazing stuff. But
Yeah.
fast forward the story, because I got I used to have a real estate license. I used to own a mortgage company, and I had a mortgage broker's license.
Mhm.
So I overstand real estate. I know how to build a house from the ground up,
Mhm.
a shopping center from the ground up. So I overstand what Elon Musk was about to do. I overstand what's happening all around the country with all this real estate happening. So I start talking to the schools and telling them what's about to happen, and they didn't know nothing. I'm like, okay, well, y'all going to send these college kids to college, but they're not going to afford to buy a home when they come
Right.
home. You can't come home with $100,000 in debt and think you're going to qualify to buy a $500,000 house. You know, so they didn't know that.
Yeah.
So so I started telling them so now I'm consulting whole school districts. I became an advisor to the Compton and Inglewood school districts.
Mhm.
LA didn't want me. You know what I'm saying? They said,
They will.
you're a little too good.
Yeah.
But my point was, when I started advising them, I'm like, your teachers are about to be homeless. In the next 5 to 10 years, they're going to be homeless because they are making 45 to 60,000. Professors making 70, 65. He's going to be homeless. Your doctor is going to be homeless. They were like, okay, get him out of here. Now all of a sudden, 5 years later, we need a bailout. All our teachers are homeless, so forth and so on.
All that.
You know, but these are the people who said, okay, we want to take black history out of the schools, but let's tell you why. Gentrification is going on. This is the biggest mass exodus of people being moved in our lifetime.
Right.
So they're being pushed out of their communities. So now, like I said, Compton went from 99.5% African American to now it's less than 6. So there's no need to teach black history anymore.
Ah.
See what I'm saying? That's why they pulling it out, because they're like, we just gentrified these areas. We ain't got to teach that no more. And then they're spreading us out clear across the country. And of course, we got a little money, so we moving into other neighborhoods now. They're like, we're not finna teach that here.
Yeah.
Y'all got a 20-year fight to even get anything out of us about African American anything.
So
But yet we can bring this in here. We want to teach them about sexuality. We want to teach them about these people are okay. We want them to learn all about that, but they're not pushing an agenda, right?
no. Well, in that
Robert.
same token, what about the CRT? The CRT shares the same ideology as the Chinese counterculture revolution. Chinese American warns us and says in a report.
Yeah.
One of the keynote speakers in the recent panel discusses, in the panel discussion hosted by Heritage of America, cited that CRT is an offshoot of the critical theory of the neo-Marxist Frankfurt School.
Yep.
What is all this?
So it's built on. So you know about CRT.
Do you know about neo-Marxism? Because I'm not very familiar with it. I've just been hearing Terry speak about it for about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah. Well, it was just saying that the CRT, it takes its information from the Karl Marx's ideas and has slowly and methodically worked its way into American society. So this panelist was saying that what it does is it's destructive, and it advocates for the exact opposite of what it claims to be, which is treating individuals differently based on the color of their skin. And they also said that America is starting to feel like communist China. And
Is this a
so
repeat?
it
Yeah, it's resetting.
Is this
Yeah.
what you see when you go into the schools?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the people who control the prison industry
Mhm.
are the authors of the books that our children read in
Okay.
schools. Do
Okay.
you understand what I'm saying? Let me repeat that.
Okay.
The children, the people who are on the board that runs the private prison industries, if you do your research, you'll see that these are the same people that are authoring our children's school books.
Okay.
And we wonder about this pipeline from school to prison pipeline, right? It's all set up that way. But as I travel the country, I see it, and it's like absolutely amazing to me. You know, it's just y'all letting them get away with this. So I start challenging people and talking about it and asking people, and I see how uncomfortable it makes them feel.
Yeah.
And then you start realizing who's the big people. I used to call it the gatekeepers, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And they say, no, TJ, they're corruption. They're creating mass corruption. They need to be in prison for the things they're doing.
Mhm.
You know, so just like I can name off so many times where amazing things were supposed to happen in cities throughout the country, but all of a sudden someone said, no, we don't need these amazing people coming in here donating and helping. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
don't think Dre just walked in there and said, here goes a check. Y'all do what y'all got to do. That
was
was
a fight.
That was a fight. That was a work in
Mhm.
hand. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, TJ, you stay there and watch them.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It was like majorly.
So the lie is that
Dang.
we need help. All of our communities, we need help, and we need people to come in here and do what
Big
they can
lie.
do for these poor people. And then when somebody comes in and says, hey, I'm going to donate 10 million. So, take that. Let's do this. Let's do this. They're like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
We don't need 10 million. Maybe this, or either they take that money and they spend it on something else and they appropriate it other
It's-
places. Is that right?
Yeah, it's legal to steal the 10 million, but it's illegal to make sure that 10 million make it to its destination. You feel me? It's okay for the churches, for the schools to take the money, but it's not okay for them to initiate and put it in its place of where it's supposed to go, because that's helping, that's empowering.
Right.
So that becomes a problem. You know what I'm saying? Just like when I came into the schools, I started talking about patents, trademarks, and copyrights, and manufacturing, and international business, and exclusive distribution rights. They were like, hold up, wait a minute, we don't like that guy. It's like,
Yeah.
why?
Talking too
He
much.
didn't
harsh.
go to a school. We don't need him in. We want somebody else to come speak. It's like, why?
Hmm.
They don't even understand that language.
That is
know?
crazy. It's blowing my mind. Oh my gosh.
And
Well,
that's the light stuff.
yeah. So we'll get on to the heavy stuff because we're going to talk about some of the
Dang,
stuff
man.
that you do in your book and everything, you guys. So I want to get out. It's so heavy, man, and I'm trying to take notes, y'all. So I want to go in a different direction. We're going to talk about the last place that we went to eat because we want to get that
This is
before we
on
go
you
to our
because,
commercial.
man, I got
No,
nothing to say other
Bobby,
than this place is garbage.
Come on now. This is your
I
your
know, I'm
stuff.
playing
This
with
your
you.
stuff. Thank you. This your stuff. Don't try it.
Yeah, we got it.
Applebee's. Let's get it.
Applebee's. Well, we want to thank Auntie for suggesting let's go have a dinner
Dinner or
together
lunch.
because
And I just suggested
I was
somewhere
like, let's
around
go to
there.
Del Taco or something because I already knew that everything was going to kind of suck.
But she wanted to go sit down because
I
she
understand.
likes to do that after church.
Get it?
Okay.
And after that, whatever that was, went to Applebee's and what was that?
I don't,
That waiter, the waiter had to have been from Kelly Services or some temp agency from the same day. They called that dude in the morning and said, hey, got a job for you. Where at? And he said, at Applebee's. Oh, but I've been doing warehouse for the past 4 years, man. I don't know anything about, just come on in, man. We'll train you today. And they put him on our table. Buddy was terrible. Buddy forgot to bring my coffee 3 times.
yeah.
Buddy
Water.
forgot to bring the sweetener. He
Water.
didn't bring any water. And he brought her burger when he brought the check.
Yeah.
Right
So-
before he brought the check,
so it
after
was
we
4
ate our food,
It was 4 of us.
she got her burger. She got her burger late. And then when she did get, she got a little bit before that. But he never brought the condiments.
No.
So you were like, okay, well now it's 20 minutes in. I'm going to need another burger.
Yeah, because now it's
And-
cold.
And no, I don't want you to take this burger.
Yeah.
Bring me another one. So
Yeah, because he tried to take
know,
my plate, like,
right.
like restaurants do. So he's like, hey, give me your plate. I'm going to go back there and I'm going to handle it. I said, no. Don't take my
I'm
plate.
cool on the microwave
I said,
situation
don't
right
take,
now
yeah,
because it's been too long.
Yeah, don't take my plate.
know.
Just get me another burger. All right,
Yeah.
bet. So they brought me the other burger, and I think I ate probably, y'all was in mid conversation while I was trying to finish my little burger.
Yeah.
It was bad, man. He kept forgetting all kind of stuff, and so the lady that we were with, she was getting really hot, like really, really
Yeah,
mad.
she wasn't
And my
taking at
aunt was
least
like,
as
my aunt,
bad.
yeah, my aunt was like, no, just just give him a break because it's not really his
Right.
fault and it's not his whatever. And so she commits to explaining that I work at Walmart. Anything that happens, whether it's on me, my manager, back, whatever it is, warehouse, when they come, it's on me.
Yeah.
So I should be the one to apologize or do whatever I can to appease the customer because I was upset, but I wasn't upset to the point of let me get my meal for free. But she was like, no, you should get that for free and
Right.
blah, 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 blah. And she just went on, on, on. We ended up getting a discount on it. I did get my meal. My meal was pretty much comped.
Right.
But it was a terrible experience.
My ribs were scraped off of some other plate because they weren't the whole riblet joints. They were like rib pieces.
Let me break it down for y'all. What's happening?
Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
Okay, we're going through the Great Reset. That's
Okay,
what you
give
call
us
it,
the
right?
knowledge.
They're gonna make things bad.
Yep.
Okay.
So, game plan. Give all these people who barely had a job.
Yep.
We're going to give them $3,000 and $4,000 a month for unemployment for a long time.
Yeah.
Communism.
Your average person that works at a Applebee's, a McDonald's, a Burger King, a Taco Bell, etc., no more than $1,200 a month. People working there making unemployment still. I mean, they're working there, but they still qualify
For unemployment because they don't
not-
make enough.
Not unemployment, but food stamps and
Okay, yeah.
Right.
little to offset the income. So this is the normal amount of money people were making. So now they're giving them $3,000 and $4,000 a month. Then they turn around and made it okay for them to go get some of this EPI, EIDL
Yeah,
money,
whatever that money,
and
yeah.
the PPPs and
Yeah.
all of
They're
those
getting
kind of money.
$3,000 a month.
Yeah, $3,000 to $4,500 a month is what I'm seeing
For sitting at the house?
for sitting at the house on unemployment because of COVID, right? So this is the reset now. So let me tell y'all what the game plan is. They're gonna come in with this money. Now they didn't spoil people for a whole 14, 18 months of this, right? Businesses are tanking clear across the country. We've lost over 70% of businesses clear across the country, right? A lot of them was African American, but here's the reason why they're doing it. They got all this new technology. They got the machines, the robots to flip burgers, to make the fries, to do all of that to replace the humans, right? But they can't just come in there and just say, we're going to start laying people off. They fixed it to where people are already saying, well, we don't want to work. We're not
So
going
they're
to come
going
to
to
work.
suck pretty bad
So-
first and then have to
Yeah.
bring in the machine.
So we're going to be begging them to bring in the machines. Please, at least I got my food on time. The machines we ain't got to deal with all these people who getting unemployment no more. You see what I'm saying? It's a game. It's a strategy. You know what I'm
I
saying? 'Cause
see it.
like I said, if you just come in and lay off 50,000 employees clear across the country and bring in robots, you got massive lawsuits.
I
clear
saw
across the country.
I saw Walmart doing this.
Yeah.
I saw them pulling this off a year and a half ago where just people getting cut.
Right.
I knew they were going to be doing that. My buddy told me.
Right. Remember when they came in with the you check out yourself?
Yeah.
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 You remember the little robot that rolled around for a few
Yeah.
months?
Yeah.
Surveying?
Yeah.
It was a
Cars driving
survey.
themselves.
Yeah.
Cars, Uber lifts driving themselves. And I tell people
I finally saw the
autonomous-
pizza thing in the
Hmm?
streets, a little pizza car.
Yeah, it's all they coming in because think about it. I'm a business owner, so hey, I want to save as much money as possible.
Right.
We as business owners, this is what people fail to understand. As a business owner, employees win because we need help.
Right.
I can't do all this by myself. I need 3,000 employees. I own Amazon, hypothetically speaking. I can't do this by myself. The more I grow, the more people I need to hire.
Yep.
So all of a sudden now you got people staying home, people getting sick, people doing this, they catching cases, they getting wife pregnant and all of this old stuff. I can't make money. So now here come the smart people. Hey, we got robots, man. You can get rid of 80% of your employees with this one robot.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh. And we could cut it down. You ain't got to play this no more. You ain't got. I can save $5 million a year. Man, when they start? But you know that you're gonna get sued. And okay, so how can we get them in here comfortably? This is what this is all about. This is the Great Reset.
Yeah.
So we got autonomous cars about the place. Check this out. We got all these kids that graduated from college. I'm traveling the country and I stay in the back of an Uber or a Lyft. It's always the young college kid oh yeah, I'm gonna just drive this until I finish my school, or I'm just doing this until I find a job. Oh, where'd you graduate from? Oh, I graduated from this amazing black school, HBCU. It's so many of them are between 22 to 26. I'm talking about hundreds of them. I done been in, I got, man, they told me what my Uber bill was. My accountant said, look, you spent this much on Lyft. I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? I could have bought a nice car with that. Porsche or something, you know? But I'm like, all of those 80% of those kids was black kids who graduated, who had a degree, who couldn't find a job. And they're like, man, I'm just going to do this for now until I find something.
Yeah.
So here they come, Elon Musk, electric cars,
Yep.
Tesla. Tesla's already electric. They just waiting on the law to pass to flip the switch to say we got all the kinks worked out.
Mhm.
Go ahead and come on, bring the cars back in, and we can recode it, and boom, car drives itself.
Yep.
All of a sudden, I came here to Vegas a couple years ago, coming out the hotel, and they said, hey, would you like, I'm looking at my phone, like, would you like an autonomous car to pick you up? I'm like, hell no. But I really wanted to.
Yeah.
So I can go live and like, look, y'all about to be out of work.
They
You know
were
what I'm
locked
saying?
out, and I can't get out the car.
Yeah, I wouldn't
So-
wanna. Yeah,
so-
that's
At the time, I researched it. This is like, if you follow me, I did presentations all around the country about the same topic. I had it all figured out. It was like I Googled, and y'all can Google it now for the current numbers. How many employees, you know how many employees Lyft and Uber have? That's just those two. Then you got like a bunch of other companies that are mimicking them.
mhm.
So we talking about like 17 million people, young black African-American students clear across the country that are driving Uber and Lyft. And then you talk about the 18-wheeler drivers. We talking about thousands of them. Now we got electric 18-wheelers, autonomous 18-wheelers
I saw
going to
that.
just come in and wipe out so many of the
Seen
jobs.
that.
But that's where, here we come again with the Great Reset.
Yeah.
If we give all these people a whole bunch of money for about 14 months, 18 months, whatever, 2 years, we're going to sink a lot of these companies, and we're going to have a lot of people spoiled. They ain't going to want to go to work. So, boom, people going to be begging us for the autonomous diesels and stuff. That's what this is. This is business.
And everybody's gonna become autonomous diesel mechanics and all those sort of things.
Yeah. Well, that's the people who pivot the right way. But
And just,
African-American people, like, I don't want my child being no mechanic.
and
You know what
just
I'm saying?
turn,
I want my baby to have a degree.
just
Oh,
manipulated us into the Jetson era. So you guys, if you guys are just tuning in, you're listening to Monday Night Special, The Review, and we will be right back with more knowledge. This is blowing my mind. If y'all see my facial expressions, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Crazy.
It's wild.
Support for Food for the Soul comes from 1186 Real Artesian Water. Satisfy your thirst with 1186, non-polluted, non-contaminated, fresh water from the heart of Alabama. 1186 means life. Wherever the water flows, there will be life. Go to www.eleven86water.com and order your case today. right.
That's nice.
Oh my gosh.
Gigantic
My friend is
It looks like it's purple in it.
my friend is commenting, but I gotta
Stop.
get to you in just a second. But we are back. If you just joined us, this is Monday night special, the review by Food for the Soul with me, Talitha Kumi. I keep saying that so fast. Talitha Kume and my baby Big Bobby B. Don't look at me crazy like that. With our special guest, Mr. TJ Lofton on Vegas Hype Media. So I need to give a shout out before we
What?
get started. Be quiet. I need to give a shout out again before we get started. Me and my girl PR Kasha Brown are up to it again this weekend. We have a big event coming up, you guys. It is called the HBO Max The Hype Show Industry Fashion Mixer in LA. So it's going to be this Saturday, August 14th. Doors open at 8:30 p.m. Our special guest will be Murph, the designer of Alani Taylor, who was actually a designer on the show, which premieres this Thursday, August 12th. And Jasmine Davis from The Shy will be hosting. And the reason why I'm saying all of this great, amazing stuff is because Bobby B and Orlay Worldwide will also be in the building. So I'm so excited for him
Yay.
to be able to show off
Yay.
what he does in LA, which is the reason why we tried to migrate this way and move that way. But shoot, after talking to TJ, I don't know. So you guys, we're talking about stuff, and next we're gonna be talking about Las Vegas news before I get into some tough questions for TJ.
Las Vegas news. A Las Vegas mom facing homelessness in 100 degree weather raises $200,000 for her rent. Dang it, I'm losing it. Daisha Kelly and her 3 daughters were about to face eviction on Monday the 2nd. The eviction moratorium expired over the weekend, and it looked like there was no way for them to avoid being homeless. The former Las Vegas car dealer lost her job due to casino closure during the pandemic and needed $2,000 to cover her back rent. But things changed for Kelly on Monday when she was featured on CNN Out Front segment. At the end of the segment, reporters mentioned Kelly started a GoFundMe page to raise $2,000 to cover her own back rent. And she raised $1,900. She figured she'd pay the bills and raise the rest of the bills. 24 hours later, at the end of the campaign, she raised $172,000
More.
more from 2,700 donors.
Wow.
And at the end of the writing of this article, she's eclipsed over $200,000. So that's a pretty big deal.
That's what I'm talking about. I wish everybody could do that.
Why is it a big deal?
2,700 people came to her rescue and came to her aid for her and her daughters.
Right.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that touched people, man. It should be illegal to be homeless in Vegas. It's hot out here.
Yeah.
It should be illegal.
Like, what was she gonna do? She was a car dealer and went nowhere. Yeah. And maybe she didn't want to go get that junk put in there to get another job or something.
So what does that tell you though about that? Because it tells me, looking at that article, reading that article, that promotion, depending on where you're promoted, is everything.
Right.
Because if she just did the GoFundMe, she raised her little $1,900 or whatever she was doing, because she got featured on CNN,
Right.
she ended up getting $200,000.
So she had more
normal.
people
That's not
seeing
normal
her.
for them to do that either.
Yeah, it's not normal. So I don't know what I don't trust nobody no
It's
more.
not normal
crazy.
for CNN to let her do a GoFundMe after an interview, or
Yeah, was it for
No.
them to mention GoFundMe?
Oh.
Was she African American or?
Yeah, she was African
See,
American.
that is not normal.
She
I
was-
see
she-
all kind of horrific stuff happening to people,
Yeah.
and there's never a GoFundMe page.
Yeah,
Right.
she was African American, and she had started the GoFundMe, but she was one of the, because she had her 3 daughters, and she was just kind of trying to figure things out, and she happened to get showcased on this show about her saying, "Hey, you guys, I'm part of the pandemic and everything that happened, and I need to raise some money because I'm going to be homeless."
so this puts
so-
GoFundMe in a good light.
It put
Yeah.
GoFundMe in a good light, but it also, what I'm saying is that with her being featured on CNN, with them having a heart,
Right.
I mean,
Listen,
that's crazy.
I'm saying based on our story last week when GoFundMe was put in a bad light, this puts him in a good light.
But
Yeah,
you know
well,
what? We gotta teach her. Hey,
Yeah.
don't go pay your back rent. I mean, pay a
she-
couple of months.
She said
but
she did.
Let's take you and go buy you a house now. You got
Mhm.
200,000. We need you to go put like 50 down on a brand new house.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
and own your own
These-
home.
Yes,
So we
'cause,
don't know. She
this
probably
is
she
gonna
probably put it on her back.
I hope somebody came, to her
Nah,
rescue
right.
with
They
some
probably
knowledge.
right.
They probably did.
When you
As-
have the ability to do
as-
something like,
Right. As a coach, I have
Yeah.
people calling me to do consultations, and they be like, man, I just lost my job. They laid us off. They let us go.
Yeah.
They gave us a bonus to leave or whatever to get out early. They got 90,000. They like, okay, I'm gonna pay my car off. I'm gonna pay my rent
Pay
up for
car
6
off.
months or for a year. I'm like,
And be
Huh.
broke for.
I'm like, I'm so glad you called me and sit down because you ain't finna do that. You know,
You know what I'm saying?
we gonna take that 90,000
What?
and we gonna go over here and buy you a house. They like, wow, I never thought about it like that, and it just blows my mind. I'm
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? I'm debating with people all throughout the South, and they're like, my landlord raised the rent again, and I'm like, okay, well, how much is it? Man, it used to be like 600. Now it's like 12 and 1,300. It keeps going up. I researched the building. Building worth 15,000, and I'm like, you could have bought the building. You can come in here and buy the building. It blows my mind. I'm like, you're not gonna buy the building? They're like, I never thought about it. It just blows my mind. I'm talking about educated. I'm talking about regular. It's not the norm for people to say we need to buy that.
Yeah, it's wild.
Well,
That blows my mind.
That's going to be one of my questions. I got about 4 questions for you, and I'm trying to make sure I got my time correct. So we're about, what are we at? About 7 something.
45.
7:45. Okay, so we got about 10, 15 minutes. Okay, so my first question is, how did you go from express gold plating to real estate and speaking all over the country? How did that?
Yeah.
How did that work? How did that?
In real estate, they asked me, I came in and spoke at a school, and I'm start talking about the cars. Yeah, my guys, and the landlord was trying to kick us out because no, the landlord raised the rent on me
Uh-huh.
because he saw a rapper at my shop. He figured, oh, you got money, you got Tupac up here talking about
So it's
lowriders and
done
all of
now.
that.
Uh-huh.
So yeah,
Right.
my rent went up like $1,000 because he realized you're a celebrity car builder. Wait a
Okay.
minute, let me raise the
Yeah.
rent. So all of a sudden, I'm telling people about the cars, what I did, and da da da. And I said, yeah. So we had to start. I realized, let me just buy the building.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when I talked about that, they're like, you did what? You bought the building?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, oh, can you tell us more about that? And I'm like, yeah, my buddies, yeah, I told them we got all these cars and we need to buy the houses, we need to buy the buildings, we need to buy some rental property. So we start doing that. So all of a sudden, people say, can you come say that same exact thing in D.C.?
Here, yeah.
Can you come
Yeah.
say that same exact thing there? And I'm like, 2 years later, nobody even realized I used to work on cars anymore.
Uh-huh.
Wait,
So
So
you
you
I'm,
didn't-
I'm supposed to be the car guy.
Yeah,
Y'all
you're like,
got
no,
me-
now I'm the real
but-
estate guy.
But
Wow.
I'm there, yeah. So they didn't put me in the real estate box, and
Okay.
I'm competing against the real estate guys. I'm like, how did this happen?
Uh-huh.
Man.
This was not supposed to be my destiny here. I mean, I know I'm very
But-
well versed at it. That's
Yeah.
what it is, though.
And
That's
it,
big.
and, and, it
That's real
and
big.
it sounds like you're a researcher, so that's
Oh, yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
What about your book, Monetizing Gentrification, Building Black Ownership? Like what are you, can you tell us a little bit about what you're speaking about in the book and where we can purchase the book?
Okay, we'll start off with that.
Okay.
You can purchase the book off my website, not Amazon. I'll
Okay.
repeat myself. Off my website, not Amazon.
Okay.
TJLofton.com. TJLOFTIN.com.
Okay.
You can purchase my book for $35 to your
Okay.
door.
Okay.
So how did that start? Well, I consult a lot of real estate investors.
Okay.
People like, TJ, whatever you buy, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I want to
Okay.
let me know I invest in it or let me know. So I'm in Philadelphia, like for example, the front of this book, I was in Philly.
Uh-huh.
I think you can hold it up for us.
Yeah.
I was in Philadelphia,
Uh-huh.
and that's me standing in front of Philly, and I'm like, I can't believe this is going on. So fast forward the story, my buddies are like, man, I'm like, dude, they just gentrified a whole neighborhood, tore down a whole neighborhood, built a whole city of high rises and all. And I'm literally walking across the street. I'm in the hood watching my back that I won't get shot and robbed. I walk
Wow.
across the street. I'm looking at Teslas for sale, and I'm grabbing my girl a Louis Vuitton and a Gucci Fendi and all of that
Uh-huh.
across the street in the hood. So they redeveloped in the middle of the black neighborhood.
Wow. Okay.
And my buddy's like, you lying. Take a picture and send me a picture. So I send them pictures.
Uh-huh.
Then I go to the next date. I say, oh man, this is going, send me some pictures. So I send him some pictures.
Uh-huh.
They go to the next, man, they building a highway all the way from Florida all the way to New York. Brand new highway, dude. It's like land for sale. They like, you lying. You making this up. Send me a picture. So now I got all of these amazing pictures of all this amazing stuff going on.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, nobody believes me until they get the picture.
Yeah.
So I'm
Like
like,
that.
let me put these pictures in the book and write about it.
Okay.
And it, boom, it's a bestseller. It's like nobody's ever done this before. Nobody's talking about that.
Oh.
Nobody's
wow.
talking about the only thing we're talking about is flipping houses.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all don't hear me talking about no flipping houses. I'm like sitting whole. Because if you flipping it, you don't own anything. But you're
Right.
constantly pushing the price of real estate up. You're gonna be like, yeah, I made $800,000. Okay, well, let's see if you can go get a house now with that 800,000. Because now they pulled the
Huh.
they pulled the loans out. You
Uh-huh.
can't.
Right.
It's 70 to 80% of the loans the home sales across the country have been cash. So you can't say, "Oh, I sold all my Bitcoin and I'm ready to buy me a house cash." Like, well, you only got 600,000. All the houses start at $1 million, and the banks aren't lending anymore, so you got to pay cash. They be like, "Whoa, I screwed up."
Man.
See what I'm saying? So it's like that's how I started writing the book, and that's what it became a bestseller. And actually, I got a new one coming out. Where I updated this one. It's like the revised version of what's happening now, breaking down what's going on with all of these sanctions and tariffs and what does that mean. People don't
Yeah.
even understand that. It's like I'm like, yeah, I'm all excited. They're like, you a nerd. I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm the only one to get it.
Right.
It's like,
That's
man,
cool, man.
you excited because of tariffs? I'm like, yeah, they shutting the corporations out. Now we're gonna start manufacturing at home. They're like, really?
So that's-
Manufacture what?
So that's good.
That's great
That's
if
good.
you're a manufacturer.
Right.
That's great if you making something. If you own a business, that's wonderful.
Well, in your bio, you you said that you developed TJ's Toolbox for youth learning of life skills, critical thinking, real estate, and the trades. And then you also developed TJ's Wealth Academy for adults. So how do those programs work?
You know the old saying,
Yeah.
if you can't get nobody else to do it,
Mm-hmm.
do it yourself.
Right.
So I've been pushing the trades for so many years because it's proven. I know so many people that's very successful. I know
Uh-huh.
business owners,
Uh-huh.
and I know all of them doing very well. So when I couldn't get the schools to comply and put the trades back in, not all of them, so I started TJ's Toolbox, and at the end of the toolbox, I give them a toolbox.
Okay.
You see what I'm
Like
saying?
that.
So yeah, just like that. I'm like, here, going across the country, here go toolboxes. Oh, he's a real hard hustler. Let me help you invest in you. Here goes a toolbox.
Let
So
me start decorating them toolboxes for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
go on YouTube,
Uh-huh.
learn how to change the ceiling fan. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's 3 wires. It's two bolts and 3 wires. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Go on YouTube, learn how to put up a brick wall. Go on YouTube, learn this. Here goes the toolbox so that you can get started. Once you make some money, hang your first $150 ceiling fan. Oh, I'm sorry, they got 10 in the house they need you to hang. Oh, and some TVs too. You walk away with some money, go buy you some real tools now and keep making this money, because right now we had an all-time high of people who are trying to find someone to come over their house and help them rehab it, help them hang some TVs on the walls. It's like cats is literally calling, especially in Georgia. Clear across the country, they're calling and they're saying, man, these contractors won't call me back because I'm not spending enough money.
Yep.
So you got people who saying, I got $85,000 to rehab my house, and I can't find nobody because they're helping all these people, these celebrities who just moved to Atlanta, building these mega mansions, and they're adding on to their house. So they've taken the best of the best. But yet we got so many people who sitting here out of work.
Yeah.
That's
Or,
it.
or collecting a $3,500 or
Them checks is really that
$4,500.
fat, man.
Yeah. So I know you mad and on your face. It's
Hey,
all over your face.
But it's a
I just
setup.
never knew that nobody
It's-
was getting checks.
I,
as
I
fat to
believe
sit at
I
the
believe
crib.
It's
I
a
believe
setup.
it's a setup too.
It's a
So,
setup for failure.
okay. So my last question is real question, and this is from Bobby. And I want to preface it with this. My friend posted this. She said,
From
if
Quincy.
you watch any of the T World economy forums, they are telling you all this that you were talking about earlier about them trying to move everybody out. It has already been out there, but when I tell people to watch the videos or listen to the information, they look at me like I have a nose on my forehead. So now the sheep are blindsided because they chose to stay ignorant. So she posted that. So Bobby was saying, the question we want to ask you is, why do you think a lot of people in our communities don't like correction?
Because some people feel like, well, I just spent 4 or 5 years in school and I owe 300,000. I'm not going to let him come in there and give them something better than what I have.
Okay.
Or they don't like to be corrected, letting them, because they've been told and programmed that you're the best of the best. You're the smartest of the smartest.
Mhm.
And don't let nobody tell you differently because you have your degree.
Mhm.
But the reality is these are non-homeowners.
Mhm.
These people are struggling. These people are leasing.
Mhm.
These people don't own anything. So here,
What about people that are not? What's wrong with you?
Nothing.
Okay. Your whole face is like looking real weird on
I
camera.
did not say that moment.
You all right?
I wasn't on camera, but you just pulled me to camera
Okay.
by asking
You
questions.
all right? Sorry.
I'm good.
Okay. I just saw your face.
Monitor's right here, dude.
I saw your face.
So that goes back to the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
That goes back to the gatekeepers that are saying they don't want them to do this. They're being paid to keep them out. I mean, they literally, I noticed when the cost of real estate started skyrocketing, I started looking at other races pulling away, going into the trades. They trying to hire me to come and teach classes at manufacturing schools.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? San Bernardino, they're teaching manufacturing, bringing in the machines into the schools for the young white children. You know what I'm saying? They're asking me to come in there and teach the white children how to make tiny homes. But when I go clear across America to the black schools, we doubling down on college. We want everybody to go to college. And I'm like, wow.
It's like a learning system.
Wow.
But
These are the gatekeepers that are pushing corruption to keep our black children where they are, going to prison.
But even us, I'm talking about like us black folk that are adults. Why are we so hell bent on not being corrected? When like you said, you said you were arguing with a few people, like you're telling them this, and they're looking at you like, yeah, whatever, man. Why? Why is that? Why do we not take people when they're telling us something or giving us advice? Why are we looking at you like, who is you?
I would always say, if I was a Christian, they would receive this message a little better. If I graduated from their alma mater, their fraternity, they would hear me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think it was a Bible quote. Don't quote me, but something about your Savior ain't gonna necessarily look like you. Maybe.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Something. Don't quote me. What I'm trying to quote the Bible. But we got to know that the person who necessarily is gonna come in here and save you, he ain't necessarily gonna be a part of your fraternity. He ain't gonna be none of this. I ask people, why you vote for her? So she's my fraternity sister. I said, but she ain't said she gonna do nothing for the African American community, but she's my fraternity sister. You know what I'm saying? Why you vote for him? Oh man, that's my homeboy. He go to my church. I'm like, but he ain't said nothing. So I look at it's a programming.
Yeah.
So they looking at me like, man, you don't believe in this. You ain't been to a school. You ain't. So you don't fit in. So why I can't have you coming in here saving us? I've literally had someone told me, TJ, no one has ever said this to the youth. No one has ever had them motivated. They're doing backflips. They're showing up on time and early. They're staying late. They've never done that before. They really like this car stuff. I'm ready to invest in you. This guy said, oh, how much do you need to start this TJ's toolbox? I came up, here's my presentation, like $500,000. Oh, I could do that by myself. That's all you need? I was like, I could do that by myself. All of a sudden, he found out I was not a Christian. He pulled his money back.
Like that.
Wow.
We're gonna let all of these young black men continue to fail, continue to go to jail because you're scared that if I come in there and save them, I'm not gonna be talking about giving them Bibles.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be talking about God freed you and God did this.
Talking about some real
it's
something of substance.
Somebody that looks like you saved you.
But
that's
how,
what's going on.
Yeah, but how come it can't be both? I know we are out of time. Quan, how much time you got me? About 5 more minutes. Okay. And so we needed you on a 2-hour show. I am so sorry, TJ. We'll circle back around to you when you come back into town, and we're gonna have to push our Created or Hated too, because we just ran out of time. But it was so much good information. We're not gonna push what you, because I know you looking at me crazy. But we're at the end of our show.
And to do Created or Hated.
Huh? No, I'd rather not. Are you?
That's cool.
You ready? Okay. So we're at the end of our show. We want to thank you, our viewers and listeners, for hanging out with us, and our special guest, Thomas TJ Lofton. Can you give us your social media information so we can follow you?
Everything is at TJ Lofton. I'm sorry, ThomasTJLofton.com. THOMAS TJLOFTIN. ThomasTJLofton.com or Thomas TJ Lofton. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Clubhouse, or TJ Lofton.
Okay.
The website is TJLofton.com.
Okay.
Keep it simple.
Okay. Well, it's time
put it on the page.
It's time for I Said It with Bobby B. So I don't wanna rob you out of your stuff like I did last week.
Well, that was bad because you cut half the segment, so I didn't have nothing to talk about.
I know, man.
Yeah.
Don't sue me. So.
Quan, go ahead and roll that. That's the right one? Yeah, that's the right one. Man, shut it up. C19, CRT, distance. I'm sure I'm not the only person that's tired of talking about it, but should I be? All over the country, the little black history that we do have is being taken out of schools, erased. It's easier to delete it than to admit that it was ever an issue. Virginia ain't having it. And to their point, I would feel some kind of way if I had to walk in class and teach said, "Welcome to white history, darky." The separation of the devastation of this nation. Applebee's is big trash and they know it. Kasha Brown is the new Andre Harrell. And Orlay is featured in Marlon's Closet and Bookstore, which is a black woman-owned business in the light of monetizing gentrification. The whips on the forefathers or the backs of our forefathers is the reason why black people despise correction. But with that being snatched from history, we need to change the page. That's it. You threw me off, TJ, with all that. Big time. I don't like reading in front of people. I get nervous and all that just threw me off.
What he said was, I'm sorry, but what he said, wow. Okay, I'm ready. Why should you care? All right, you did good, though. You did good. I'm taking one of yours. CRT, color rating technique. A way to size up any person based on the color of their skin. You're not fooling us with the plan to make right what was wrong hundreds of years ago by telling us something we already know. You've kept the truth from us for decades upon decades, and now you want to tell it? For what? To ease your guilted, troubled minds, or to drive the point home that we will never be you in this good old U.S. of America, land of slaves, home of the tricked. Teachers have never been able to teach what was taught by teachers who never knew. So we've been behind the curve and will continue to be if you have it your way. But I challenge all of you who are blinded by color lines that divide to choose grace, choose mercy to those ignorant of the truth. And if you're going to accept hush money, talk loud by doing for yourself so next time you see a fake, you can spot them.
Yeah, real shit.
So,
That's good.
Yeah. So it's never, I really am always just kind of I bow to you because
that was great.
Your wordplay is seriously serious. So you guys, we are at the end of our show. Tune in every week Mondays at 7:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on Vegas Hype Media and on our FB page and YouTube station. Also, we are looking for sponsors. So if you like what you hear every week, consider sponsoring a show or your business with us. And if you want to be a guest on the show, we're looking for you too. Hit us up at foodforthesoulpresents@gmail.com. Stay tuned in for new show segments, new In the Mix with Kasha Brown on the red carpet coming soon, and more some other cool review segments. So tune in as we bring you the latest. Our show tonight has been sponsored in part by 1186 Water and, as always, Orlay Worldwide. Thank you.
Appreciate you for coming, TJ. I thought you said we had
appreciate the invite, y'all.
Huh?
I thought you said we had comments.
No,
I think I see on here.
Bobby.